so this isn't really something that I can just let play. Especially since I didn't realize I started on the abs. It's kind of...
And why would I pass up an opportunity to talk about this guy? Because he is the funniest guy to me in kind of the wrong ways. He's... I find him hilarious. Yeah, I find him hilarious. So this is a now very definitely outdated reference sheet from 2021, probably. If it's from 2022, I'm going to be really surprised. So this is Ezra Fox. Technically, his name being Ezra is like a huge spoiler because it's like, oh, there's just like really notorious secret agent, blah blah blah, and all we know is that their first name is Ezra, and he's like, shit, that's me. So for the majority of the story, he's called Pluto. So I probably am trying to get into the habit of just calling him Pluto, but I'm probably gonna slip up and call him Ezra. Just both are his name, but technically in my own story lore thing, Ezra, you're not supposed to know that's his name. The first thing you may be wondering is, why does he look like that? See, the trouble with designing this character, and I'll talk about a conundrum I did not anticipate experiencing, but I did, is that the main setting of the story is at a strip club. Because my bread and butter is being like, you told me not to do this, and you said this was a bad idea, so I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna make it work, and it's gonna be fucking awesome. So the main setting of this is a strip club. It is 8 women and him. So of course he's gonna be kind of like scantily clad. In the top 10 list of, I actually had to look this up for something. The male stripper attire is definitely one of them. And to my absolute delight, it's more common for them to wear boxer briefs. I was worried it was gonna be like jock straps or something. No, the boxers make their ass look better, so they wear those. It's like, oh heck yeah, that's so much easier. He specifically, although his character is a dancer for life, he's wearing latex pants because the pole is new. And also, it's kind of higher up on his waist than it would be, because later on in this video you're going to see I'm going to draw a tattoo that's on his lower back. He needs to cover that up.
I definitely draw him much wider now than he is in this picture, but it's still kind of like the same general idea in that it's kind of like the JoJo's Part 5 build, which is like still kind of lean and like nearing slim, but still like muscular and fit. And there were also some other things that happened in the present. Sorry. Basically one thing happened after another, so now I have Ezra Ref 1, Ezra Ref 2, and Ezra Ref 2 nipple piercings. Now you have to understand this is a decision with multiple reasons. Is one of those being that it's hot? Only like a little bit. It's not really my thing. That's not really something that I care about or look for or anything like that. But you have to think about that. 1, he absolutely would. 2, imagine him getting hit with a cold breeze in a t-shirt. That's hilarious. 3, it will be the first thing that people ask him when he meets anyone, to the point where I want him to open with that before his name. For anything. Do you have your nipples pierced? That's so funny. I don't care if people think I'm a horny rat for doing that. That's worth it. I want him to have heels. Like, these shoes are fine, but I want him to have heels. He needs to work. He needs to work with an E. I forget if I made a TikTok about this, but if I did, it was before I like blew up a little bit. So basically it doesn't count. And the issue that I did not anticipate with this design is that I gave him too little clothes. I gave the exotic dancer not enough clothes. That's so funny because I realized he only has like one thing to take off. There is no tees. He's already like, you already see almost everything, and the pants aren't coming off because of what I said earlier. So I'll find a picture and I throw it up there, but he has like now an extra garment on underneath the vest thing. And it's still not final, it's just kind of like random, I guess, but yeah. I'm going to talk about the design a little bit more because I want to talk about his personality, because that's where I start laughing a lot. So my habit with character design, what I consider myself is a writer who also happens to be a character artist who is lazy, so I design my own characters for my stories. Because typically if I was bringing this in like to like a real world job or whatever, maybe if I'm super fortunate I'll have a say in it, but I'm not going to be one designing the characters. Other people are going to do that because it's not my job. So usually if I have to create a new character, it's out of necessity. But also, if I create a new character, it is entirely spontaneous, and then a whole story evolves from it, and he is one of those. Here is my first ever drawing of him. Luckily, I still have it, yay, because this is only like a couple years old. So usually, with a design, I just get it right the first time, at least from what my vision is, and then from there, no major elements are changed, it just looks better, because you know I get better at drawing because that's what I do. I'm epic like that. Once I mention this, I think you'll see it too. I was watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3 for the first time at this time. You can kind of see it in his nose and like everything else, I think. I'll get a picture of this too. The hair, I believe I had this in mind. I was not directly referencing this, but I had this old character named Bodhi in mind when I did the hair, I think subconsciously. So since he is covering a whole other side of his face, I decided that I wanted to give him a reason to do that. So he has partial heterochromia, because full heterochromia is like, or it used to be full heterochromia, but then I decided that's kind of lame and cliche, let's do partial. And then we'll do a scar. And the scar is funny also, because I don't want that to be, I didn't land on a final reason as to why he has it, but every time someone asks him about it, he's going to tell them something different. He's just not going to stick to one thing. He's really great. I also like it a lot now because of the motif of needing to pursue perfectionism, just because of he's a very privileged man. And for having to cover up both the eye with like a partial heterochromia, which is considered really cool and really awesome, just also to cover up the scar as well, which isn't really inherently bad, it's because both of them are imperfect. So that's why he's like, no, to both of them, even though the eye is pretty. So I like that a lot. I don't like to tell you how to feel, as in being like, this character is super hot, you just have to take my word for it. And everyone's like, she's so hot! But it's just like, she looks like everyone else in the show. It's like, what are you talking about? I don't like telling my audience how to feel like that. So I'm gonna say other people's words when I say that he is perceived as one of my more attractive characters compared to everyone else. A general habit that I've been trying to fix, but also that's especially prevalent in this story, is the Eurocentric eyes. Which what I mean by that is that he's meant to be a mix between black and Israeli. So, and then the bright yellow eyes, that's kind of like, that doesn't really happen. So I decided to keep it for him, to try to keep his traits closer to his mom because they're more alike. And he's not a predator in the legal sense, but the yellow eyes makes him more like predatory, like more like feral, I guess. You know what I mean. If I say predator, you're gonna think like criminal, like that. That's not what I mean. I mean in like the scientific sense of the word, it makes him look more like a predator. So instead, to try to fix that habit, I made those fixes with his sister, who now has much darker eyes and a little bit darker skin than him, because they're both mixed. And it was annoying me that they have the exact same skin tone. I'm like, that's kind of, I shouldn't do that. That sucks. But it does take me a while to draw pictures of him because I get flustered as I'm drawing and it slows me down. So I think that's an indicator of being successful in making an attractive character. His personality, god damn it, I don't have that much time. I call him the threat to all genders. He is both pansexual and polyamorous. Nobody is safe from this man. He catches feelings really easily, but he's also will drop someone for like one reason. The reason will probably be if you're stupid. You like some smart for anyone. Just the completely genuine pursuit, will they won't they, of this is the love of my life and I want to be with them forever, like 5 times over. But he means it. Is so good. Anyway, that was his orientation, not his personality, but let's talk about this tattoo now. So combine Apple and Amazon into one entity and give it a secret society and like kind of a mafia-ish. That's what this is. It's a super like big corporate conglomerate, corporate tech conglomerate that also has a secret society for it and also has a cute little literally underground society underneath bootleg New York. I don't know if it's gonna be New York yet, so right now it's just gonna be bootleg New York, just also a city that's on a port. The hierarchy is in descending order from the sun, meaning that Pluto is the highest there is. He is one of 3 in the Pluto category. I also like Pluto being the highest one because, of course, Pluto had their planet status rescinded. I forgot if it was reinstated. For the sake of my thing, I'm just gonna say no. So it really is a more secret tippy top position. And that's only held by 3 people, which is him, his sister, and his boss. It is birth given, so it's between this Fox family and then also the David family, which I made a reference sheet for that guy. That's gonna be a fun video. But the pilot, so to speak, of this storyline is that for unknown reason, he was kicked out of this society, completely exiled and completely blacklisted wherever he would go. He no longer lives underground and he's forced to quote-unquote move in with a family friend. And that family friend, they don't realize, happens to own an exotic entertainment club. So he goes, boohoo, I'm not rich anymore. He has to get over his own ego and vanity. He has to find his sister, who also got kicked out but is not with him. And he needs to come up with a plan to overthrow this society, because clearly, even though he was given this with birthright, it's being run by a crazy gay man. Gay was irrelevant to that, sorry. My gift to you as an ally is representation of someone who doesn't care about any aspect of your life and he doesn't want to hear about your relationship problems. But I hope I can work up the balls to talk about this in more detail, because I do think it's really cool and I have a lot of faith in this pilot. It's actually the only thing so far that I've written in a pilot script format that's like a pilot. And no, you cannot see it. It is for the ladies' eyes only. Anyway, this is Ezra, but that's his real name, so he doesn't go by that. In the story, he goes by Pluto. It's a jab back at that society thing I was talking about earlier. I love him a lot. I love working with this guy. It's a great vessel for talking about the morality of revenge also. And then of course working with a narcissist, because I realized if he was born rich, he's probably going to have some narcissism. And also because his entire purpose is to be really hot and awesome. He's so great. He's a badass. He ruins lives. Near fluent in ASL, take him home to your parents. Unless your parents are hot, then he might try to get with them too. So be careful, watch yourself. I figured that I have not really sold it well, but he is really great. I love working with him so much. Let me know if this was boring and you don't want to see me do it ever again. Thank you so much, I love you.